Hi guys, my name is Emily Stork and I chose to do my curriculum design project on a professional development type of course where the focus would be on the use of technology in the classroom. So a little bit of background about the course. Again, like I said, it would be for professional development for teachers. It would be 3 credits. It would be asynchronous. I listed my email for students to easily be able to contact me, and I also put that I would have office hours every Wednesday from 6 to 7 or by appointment. My hope was to do this via Google Hangout. And the only real technology requirement is to have a computer and also to make sure that you have a working Google account because the class will focus on using Google Classroom. So as I mentioned, the focus of the class is on Google Classroom, and any sort of communication will be done through school email or, like I said, Google Hangout for any office hours. And then I would also have posted an ongoing thread in the Google Classroom with any questions that came up throughout the course. So I'm just going to read the course description. It says, the course is designed to enhance existing instruction in the classroom by introducing new types of technology that will increase student interest. This course is broken up into 4 weeks. Each week we will explore various technologies that focus on assessment, portfolios, and classroom management. Students will have the opportunity to try many different technology apps that can be incorporated in their classroom to increase student use of technology. We will be reading various articles as well to understand the use of various applications and how to appropriately use various technologies in the classroom. So as you can tell, the point of this course that I designed was to give as many resources as possible to teachers so that they can start to incorporate different types of technology in the classrooms. So I came up with 5 generic objectives that were my hope for students to take away from the course. So the first one is to have students walk away with a toolbox of apps that can easily be utilized in the classroom by their own students. The second one is to understand the importance of varying the types of assessments given. The third one is to explore the use of technology apps in accordance with behavior management. The fourth one is to create a model digital learning portfolio. And the last one is to work collaboratively to create a digital learning menu. So what I'm going to do now is show you the different assignments and what the point values are. So as you can tell from the first assignment, discussion post is worth 40 points. And I purposely did this because I wanted to make sure that my students that were taking the course understood how important it was and how much value I was putting into their constant communication with each other and with me throughout the week. So, like I said, the course is 4 weeks, so each of the weeks are worth 10 points, totaling 40 points in total. And each week, the idea is that I would post various articles and pair those articles with questions that students would be expected to respond to via Google Classroom. So students would read the article, and then I list that they would answer questions by Thursday, and then by Sunday they would have to answer at least 2 classmates so that they're not only writing their response but reflecting on what their classmates are saying. And then on top of that, there is going to be a weekly assignment thread, and that will depend each week what kind of project you're expected to be working on. So the first project that students come across is what's called the digital learning portfolio, which is worth 20 points. I have a slide on that later on, so I'm not going to get too much into it, but I will explain that in a little bit. Basically, students are going to use Google Sites. And with Google Sites, they're going to create their own template for an online learning portfolio for students to create in the beginning of the year and then keep track of throughout the year and add to it so that there's one place where digitally all their work is stored to look back on it for parents to look at and reflect on and things like that. Another assignment that's worth 30 points is what's called the digital learning menu. I put in the bottom corner down here just a generic picture of what a digital learning menu could look like, but I will also later on in the slideshow show you my digital learning menu that I came up with. So basically a digital learning menu is for students to be able to have a choice when it comes to assignments. So the teacher, let's say, finishes a unit on a certain book or a certain science topic, and at the end they want their students to do some sort of assignment with it, but they want them to make sure that they're tapping into what they're really good at. So whether they're really good at creating videos or that they're maybe awesome at creating graphic illustrations. You're still getting the similar kind of product, but allowing students, again, to have that choice. So the expectation is that students in this course will create their own menu that they could then turnkey into their classroom. One of the other smaller assignments is worth only 5 points, and that's on the week that focuses on formative assessment and the different apps that you can use for formative assessment. So students will be exposed to different websites and apps like Kahoot and Plickers and Quizlet, and then what they're going to do is create their own assessment using Kahoot and Quizlet, and it will give them experience with using these websites, and then they will have to evaluate the different strengths and weaknesses of those different sites. And the last assignment is what's called the classroom management assignment, which is also worth 5 points. And this is going to come during the week where we're looking at different apps that focus on parent communication and communication having to do with behavior in the classroom. So I personally use Remind with my students and the parents in my class. So students in this class will have to create their own fake Remind account and then post different updates on it, and then they will reply to their classmates as well. So listed on my actual curriculum design layout is this little box right here, which again just breaks down pretty easily and, helping those visual learners understand what the different point values are, which total up to the 100 points for the class. And then this is the grading system transferring to a letter grade. So what I've done now is on my actual curriculum design, I had this in a chart format, but it didn't transfer so nicely on here into Google Slides, so I just kind of broke it down. So for each week on my what would be syllabus, you have the specific objectives that relate to that week, and then you have linked, hyperlinked articles. So you can actually click on Article 1, 2, and a video. Each week does have a combination of articles and videos for students to look at and gain information from, and then use that information to reflect and answer the questions as said here, and then again respond to classmates. And then on this next slide, I listed the actual questions that would go with those other resources and then what the assignment is. So one of the assignments for the first week would be a getting to know you Google form. So it's just a basic questionnaire that I ask my students to fill out to get to know them, their learning style, what they expect from me, what I expect from them, that sort of thing. Then also their digital learning portfolio that I touched on before. So here's just a screenshot of what mine looks like for my students. So as you can see, this is what the Google site template would look like. So this is the title that I chose to put up here, and my students and my parents have access to this site. There's a contact me, there's what my supplies are, what the daily homework is, but then in here are actual broken down folders even more with specific assignments. So within the ELA folder is different writing assignments. So in there I have the different assignments that the students complete, the different essays that they write, and then they create reflections. And then with social studies, similar with different web quests and things. And then there's also an enrichment tab, which I have kept pretty up to date with different links and things for those students that need that extra push and want more practice. So this is just my example. Students in this course would create one that, applies to them and the subject that they teach. And then again, the hope is that they can turnkey that. Their students can make a copy and create their own and then keep up to date with it. So by the time that they finish their class with their teacher, they have a great place that they can go to find any of the information that they have completed that year and reflect back on any sorts of technologies that they used in that class. So similarly, week 2, you can see the objectives, you see different articles and video. Each week has 3 questions, and then this week focuses on that formative assessment piece. So this week focuses on making sure that you're not just, relying on one way to assess students, and really highlighting different types of technologies you can use to assess students. So students in the class would create a Kahoot or Quizlet, and with that they are going to find a list of 10 words that relate to the subject that they teach, and then create just a quick little formative assessment for their students. So after being able to compare Kahoot and Quizlet, then they're going to create a screencast similar to this one where they're going to review their process. I like the idea of not just, giving one type of assessment in the class. I loved how in this class we had used Flipgrid in the beginning of the course. So getting people to, record themselves is great. And I also make a note here that they have to prepare for an upcoming assignment, which is a partner assignment. So they're going to have to make sure that they pick a partner. Week 3, again, focuses on classroom management. Here you're going to see that there's a few more articles than usual. The objectives are listed, same with the questions. And then this week, what I expect is to create that Remind app, create your own profile, and come up with different realistic posts that you would send out to either students or to parents. And then you're also going to respond to different Remind accounts from classmates, from peers. And then just looking forward again to that digital learning menu, making sure that the now partners have submitted a topic choice for me to approve for their final project, which is the digital learning menu. And then the last week, the last big piece of the course, which is worth the most points, is that digital learning menu, which I will show you in a bit. Here you have 4 articles and a video to look at, the objectives, and then the last 3 questions, which you would read, answer, and respond to 2 classmates. And then again, now you're actually, by the end of that week, completing that digital learning menu with your partner, which I'm going to show you in 1 second. And then the last piece of the course, which I think is really important, is a reflection piece. A lot of times we submit reflections, to the college itself on the professor, but I think as educators, it's important for us to reflect. I know at the end of each school year, I have my students fill out a Google form and tell them to answer it honestly and anonymously, because I really do value their feedback and want to know what worked for them, what didn't work for them, what they would like to see more of or less of, because in education, we constantly are reflecting on our practice. So this here is my example of a digital learning menu, something that I would expect from my students and something that I give to my own students in my class. So I chose to make mine like a menu that you would see at a restaurant. So on each section, I'm expecting different amounts. So for the appetizers, they have to choose 1 assignment, entree choose 1, specials can be extra credit, and dessert they have to choose 2. So here I base this just a generic digital learning menu that I had my students complete in a writing course that I have. So they're just various different types of assignments where I'm getting my students to write in different ways. So I won't go through all of them, but they are hyperlinked, so you'll be able to click on them and see what the actual assignment is. And the students, I would post this to my Google Classroom, and then they would in turn open up the link that interests them and then complete the assignment and turn it into me. So in the appetizer section, you can create an interview where you're interviewing someone and recording their answers, a how-to guide on something that you're interested in and the different steps that you would take to complete it. For the entree, these are definitely the meatier, bigger assignments. So one would be to create a letter to a legislator on a topic that you're passionate about, a poem using personification, because again, I'm an English teacher. And also another option is to create your own resume, where I gave my students a template. For the desserts, these are more like those fun assignments that the kids really enjoyed. One of them is to create a storyboard using Storyboard That. Another is to create a bookstagram, where students are creating like a fake Instagram account for a character from a book. And then also an infographic where I give them a template and then they create some sort of visual digital information piece. And then the last one, the special, is for those early finishers, for students that go above and beyond. These are some extra assignments that they can complete. So again, this is just my example. There are tons. I had done a little PD session for some of my coworkers and showed how not just English teachers can use this, even science teachers, social studies teachers, whatever it is you teach, you can create something like this. And it's great because you're giving your students choice and allowing them to really take ownership of their work because they're doing something that they're passionate about. So that's basically it for my course. Again, the idea is that people taking this course would be able to walk away with a great toolbox of different tools and apps and things that they can use in their classroom with their students, and introducing it in, a nice supportive atmosphere was a professional development option. I really did love this project. It certainly took a lot of work and a lot of reflection on my end. I really appreciated the peer feedback that I had gotten and really took it to heart, and definitely made some changes to it. But overall, I really did enjoy this assignment, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you.